Look, frankly, folks, I find this an horrific story. At least 50 migrants were found dead inside an 18-wheeler in Texas. Tell me more about this, please, Ash.
Yeah, that number has changed. It was 46. It's now up to 50 after authorities in Mexico added their details to this. Again, abandoned truck on the outskirts of San Antonio, Texas. Authorities say 16 people, including 4 children, have also been taken to the hospital. The survivors were said to be hot to the touch and suffering from heat stroke and heat exhaustion. The truck had been abandoned by its driver. It had no working air conditioning, and there was no drinking water inside. Temperatures in the area hit 103 degrees. Someone heard a cry for help and called police, and this is how it was discovered. Reports say 3 people have been taken into police custody for questioning, but we know that human traffickers often use these trucks to transport undocumented migrants. A real human tragedy, Stu.
Yes, it is indeed. Thank you very much, Ash. Brandon Judd with us today. Brandon is our border guy. Brandon, I've not heard anything yet from the left. What would have been the reaction of the left and everybody else if this had happened under President Trump?
Oh, they would have said that he's a monster. They would have said that everything that he's doing is wrong. They would have said that all of his policies are incorrect. But if you look at this, if you look at all of the evidence clearly shows that all of this falls directly on the shoulders of President Biden. When you look at the numbers of people that are crossing the border illegally today compared to any other president, and they're astronomical. When you look at the numbers of people that are being released into the United States, the numbers of people that are being rewarded for violating our laws, it's astronomical. And that is what is driving the current situation. And that is why we have these 50 people that unfortunately perished. It's disastrous. It's monstrous what is currently happening on the border.
Should Mayorkas resign? And if he doesn't, should he be impeached in the next Republican Congress?
He should resign. He absolutely should resign. You know, I personally know that behind the scenes he's trying to work to make things better, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your intentions are. What matters is what you accomplish. It's the accomplishments, and he has accomplished nothing. And if he can't get done what he intends to do, he needs to leave office. There has to be responsibility, and without responsibility, we're going to continue to see these things happen.
There's a story which I think is related to the border. The New York Supreme Court has struck down a New York City law that allowed non-citizens to vote in local elections. I think this is all part of the immigration story. What do you say?
It is. It's the magnets that draw people. When people think that they can come here illegally just to be rewarded later on. You know, I loved Ronald Reagan. I loved everything that he did except for IRCA of '86. When you look at the Immigration Reform and Control Act of 1986, it's what gave the roadmap to everybody, telling them that if they cross the borders illegally, that ultimately they will be rewarded later on down the road. And when you listen to politicians talking about immigration reform, they're not talking about border security. They're not talking about securing the border. They're talking about legalizing the millions of people that are here. That's one of those other magnets that draws people. So when you allow people to participate in our government that are not even citizens of the United States, that is telling people that they need to get here, and they need to get here as quickly as they possibly can in the event that there is some sort of legalization.
Biden invited them in. Right from the get-go, they've been invited to come into our country. It's not surprising that they're flowing in at $200,000 a month, now is it? Last word to you.
No, it shouldn't surprise anybody when you look at how he panders to his open border base. When you look at the people that are in the White House, these are activists that are in the White House, activists that are in DHS. That's the problem that we face today. They will do nothing as far as border security goes. We thought that we would have hit the ceiling. We don't know where the ceiling is anymore.
It's just a terrible story. But Brandon, thank you very much for being with us this morning. Appreciate it always. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Stuart.